Well, it's a beautiful Saturday evening, May 18th, 2019, and it's great. Sitting out here in beautiful city of Aventura, actually right behind the what is now the Cultural Center, Aventura Cultural Center. But most importantly, I just want to share with you a few things. First of all, here's live proof. Brad Metzler. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that right. But I'm reading actually listening to your Audible book. Let's try to say that 3 times. And here's living proof. I'm not a bot. But I just wanted to say that I appreciate it because, in today's world, there's a lot of people drinking and driving. Aren't you glad that there's some people that are actually, driving and listening? Some of them are your books. And I must say, it was the first book that I ever listened to on Audible or on audio. Actually, it was cassette. It sounds so long ago. Actually, in the 70s, they used to have for the blind and impaired the talking books, books on tape for people with disabilities and with the hearing impaired, blind and visually blind and people who had trouble turning pages, and that was a good thing. Now, through technology, the internet, and everything else, this Audible books, Audible is one of them. You can get the format version. I think it's a great thing. So, as you can see, I have my earpiece, and that's what I'm going by. This here, I'm not kidding. That's the scooter and everything that I'm on. And so, earlier today, you saw me. You saw a tweet from me saying how much I enjoyed your book. Actually, my favorite author, and I kid you not, even though The Fifth Assassin is great and wonderful, I really am looking forward to book number 3 from Gary Byrne. And, he tells it like it is. I mean, now, if that isn't true crime, I don't know what is. Putting up with the Clintons, I mean Hillary, the blue dress special, everything else. So Gary, I thank you. Oh, here. Oh, there we go. Look at him. Okay, now there's a bit of history about this. Let me just give you a little bit of history. This street that we're on is known as Thunderbolt Row. Okay, right here where I'm at, before this used to be here, this is where Elvis sighting is. And anyway, I saw the Elvis show. Elvis did make an appearance here, I think it was about a month and a half ago, and that was cool. I really enjoyed seeing that and seeing him. But anyway, what you see behind me is the waterways. But before this was here, back in the day, and I do mean way back in the day, especially on this street, Northeast 188th Street in Aventura, before it was incorporated as Aventura, I used to spend many a good time down here, but on this street, because I grew up in this area. But Don Arono and his boat building companies, this is where he did his work before he was tragically murdered by a competitor, Crazy Kramer, who is whether he's still alive in prison, I don't know, but it was so sad. But back here, right here is where the drug runners would come back and you'd pick up all the cocaine and everything. And I kid you not, this actually happened. Saw it firsthand. firsthand knowledge. And now you just see the people going out and taking their boats out. Beautiful night out. It's great. So I just basically, the whole point of this video is to let you know that this is not, I'm not a robot. I'm actually a live person on Twitter. And this is what it's all about for me. So I thank you. I thank you, Brad, for making it possible for me to drive and listen at the same time. We don't have, thanks to technology, we do not have to, put the cassette in there. So backing up, I used to, back before there was Audible and books, and on the internet, I used to get, I must have got, probably about 80 or 90 books on tape. The first one was John Douglas, the profiler, and his story. Funny thing about the book that John Douglas did, I basically listened to it when I had to go through an MRI. The people said, "Oh, come on, and if you have something on tape or music you want to listen to, you can do that." So I had to spend some time doing an MRI. And it was his book that I got on, it was cassette at the time. And I listened to it, and I was in the MRI machine listening to his machine. But thank goodness for technology. Now this is the next best thing. Now, the second book, who I had the privilege of listening to, is an interesting story, was Stephen King. Now, Stephen King, we have something in common, and it's not, that we're both sort of disabled right now. Fortunately, me for the majority of my life since birth, but for him, he had was walking, and somebody hit him up when he was jogging at his home. But thank God, he's still writing books and everything. But years ago, back in 1983, and if somebody knows Stephen King, I wish he would get in touch with him. But I was out and about 3:30 in the morning, and it was a place called Pappy's Lounge. It's no longer there. I think they changed it to one of those nudie bars or nudie clubs, whatever. But I didn't say anything wrong. I didn't use any profanity, but they changed it. I guess they weren't getting a bunch of business. So it was about 3:30 in the morning, and I was doing a favor for a friend because I had stopped drinking. Anyway, I'm pulling up. I'm getting out of my car, and at that time I had a cane or crutch, and I would leave it in there and walk in there, and I sort of walk a little funny, funnier than I do now. So all of a sudden, this silver Porsche comes speeding by down the street, Biscayne Boulevard. I think it's about 111th Street, maybe, in Biscayne Boulevard, back in 1983. Now, I do know this for a fact because, so anyway, I'm sitting up there, I'm standing up, and I'm walking, and I look a lot younger, of course, 1983 compared to 2019. I just stopped drinking, but the bartender at the Pappy's Lounge, I was doing her a favor because she needed a ride home, and I was gonna give her a ride home, like the designated driver. So anyway, as I'm standing out there, he gets out and he says, "Hey, I wouldn't be careful walking like, being like that. You better sober up." And he didn't realize that. I told him, I said, "I'm like this all the time." But anyway, so we went in there, and he was talking his story and everything. And he was telling me how he got a couple speeding tickets in his silver Porsche. Big deal. I had a 71 Dodge Dart, and this was in 1983, and I had a good time. The next thing I know is he wants to make a bet with me that he's going to be able to get the bartender to go home with him and or leave with him. I said, "Okay." "How much?" He said, $100. I said, "Okay, no problem." Anyway, needless to say, she left with me because I was her ride home. But I didn't tell him that. I let him keep his money. I didn't want to take the poor guy's money. You know, he was a struggling, writer at the time. Not as successful as Gary Byrne today, or Brad, you, but in the time. And Stephen King, you've had a few hits here and there, and I appreciate, and I've listened to them all, the majority of them, and I've seen all your books and everything. But the funny fact was, when I got home about 7:30 that morning, okay, after spending a night out with Stephen King and have to listen to him and everything, I got home, I opened my mailbox, and and there was, we still got actual mail in the mailbox. So there was I had a subscription to Playboy. It comes in a brown paper wrapper. I think it was October, November of '83. I'm not sure. But there was, Playboy used to do the 20 questions. Well, guess who was the 20 questions about? And who the subject matter was? That's right. It was Stephen King. I said, dang, I was just with him. And there was a couple other people who knew, and I later that day, or the next day or next night or whatever, I used to work, late hours or whatever, and I got home, but I went out and I saw my friend, the bartender, who he tried to pick up. I said, hey, do you remember the other night when I was in here? I said, you know that guy that was hitting, that was trying to, make a bet and make a play on you and stuff? Yeah. I said, well, this is him. She looked, she says, this is him. I said, are you sure? I said, yeah, I'm sure. I said, this is him. During our course of our conversation, he asked me, and I don't know whether I was an influence or not on Stephen King, but he asked me, do you read books? And I told him, no, I don't read books. I wait till the movies come out. Now, I think that's what sort of, I said, because, and for one thing, I said, I don't like turning pages. And again, I told him, I said, it's hard for me to turn pages. I said, I told him, it's not that I'm lazy, it's just that I don't like to get, paper cuts. All right. So, needless to say, since that point, I can't take credit for it because I don't know whether it's true or not. Okay? But he started writing books. Okay? Isn't that great? Can I take credit for that? Nah. Is it a true story? Yes, it is a true story. Okay? So if any of you are out there, any of my followers or whatever, I don't have many of them. I got over 500. So, and I'd like to get more. But this is my story. And I'm telling you like it is. So it's good. It's good. So then I listened to it. One of the other books was The Green Mile, and I actually listened to him on tape, cassette tape at the time, and there was a whole bunch of tapes before DVD. That's how long ago. Technology, especially for people like me with disabilities who have trouble, I just. Something came to mind, Brad. I was when I was listening to it, I said, boy, I wish I could get this book to go faster. And you know what? There is a feature on there. You can, up the speed on the tape. It says 13 or 14 hours worth of listening. You can make it go faster. Am I going to do that? No. Because I like listening to your. The only one that I would recommend turning up the speed on would be the late great Ann Rule, who did the Ted Bundy story. And some people are good writers. She's a good writer. She was a good writer. Sad to say she's no longer here. And but there was a part that there's a connection all over the place. So she was here for the Ted Bundy trial in Miami. I worked for corrections. So, it's here in Miami-Dade County, and it was great. But every book of hers, she would do her own narration, and I would be driving my car at the time. I don't drive my car at the time. car now, but at the time I did. And it was just so crazy because, and I hate to say this, but Anne Rule would talk in such a monotone voice, it would put you to sleep. And you don't want to fall asleep on I-95, especially here in Florida. It's crazy. She's a good writer, tells a good story, but you got to listen to the book. You got to listen to her talk for a long time before you get familiar with her way of talking and telling the story. Brad, you find the narrations, and Stephen King, Steve, he has a way with making each character come to life. Some people are good, you know, and it's a challenge. It's a real challenge. So I'm going to enjoy. I'm almost done with the book, Brad, and I just want to say thanks. Thank you very, very much, and just enjoy the view back there. Enjoy the view. Oh, there's the view. Okay. City of Excellence. Actually, that's looking over across the bay. Where I'm at is Aventura. Over across the street, over across the waterway. That's Collins Avenue. Yeah, that's Collins Avenue. So anyway, somewhere around there. Remember it's just lovely. Thanks for spending the evening with me and spending a little time and just a little history. It's always good to come down the street that I used to live down here on the street, but one of the things was I just realized I just saw something within the last few months. One of the there was a new condominium built, and there's actually a new park. So I'm gonna go over there in a little bit, and it's called, I think, Peace Park, Aventura's Peace Park. So I'm gonna go over there and see if it's still light enough, and we'll go over there. So y'all have a good weekend. Just enjoy. And here's proof. I'm not a bot. I'm a real live person and listener of Audible books. So I'm waiting for the Mueller report. I understand it's out. It should be free to everybody. Everyone should have the Mueller report free. All right. Remember Gary Byrne when I told you? Okay. I said, and it took him just under 30 days to put it out on Audible, or actually to make a recording book of it. Oh wow! Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! You see that? That's somebody in a kayak. Wow! Uh-oh! For a minute there, I sounded like Dennis Michael Lynch. Wow, that's great. Wow, incredible. Okay, enough of me. Back to you. Enjoy.